coming up.
Yeah, you hear that? Don't believe anything you hear. Do you all know who Ryan is?
Just introduce them.
No, I mean,
New town manager.
on the spot, yeah. I know he said his name, but.
I started the recording.
Saved your seat.
Well, we got a couple of minutes. Does anybody else expect to join on the phone? Just Rocco?
Ashley's here.
Yeah, Brian Humes is not gonna join because he's actually traveling. He's gonna call in, he's going to Jersey. And I said, you know what, he gave me a quick update, so I think I can just relay that. And Doug's on too.
But Doug's here. All right, well, we might as well start the meeting, call it to order. I need a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Audience of citizens? I guess you're not elected, you have a new appointed official. Brian Curley, who's now the town manager, and I guess will be sending stuff to us, or certainly working with Mike and Doug closely. But it's nice to have you, and you can see how the PBC operates.
Yeah, it's great.
And then hold your head when you go back. Take some aspirin. And I don't know if you want to say anything or just sort of observe.
Yeah,
we do.
I'll just say, thank you for having me. I'm here to observe and to help as, I want, my office to be as helpful as possible to carry on, the projects. I know there's a big queue, right, with things that need to get done. And I'm here to make life easier for everybody, hopefully. So I'm here to listen today, and I'll be here to help as much as I can.
Well, come at the right time, because we seem to be getting more and more that has nothing to do with public buildings, but be that as it may. All right, police station update, Mike?
Yep, and
That's
I'll
you?
tag team with Doug.
Okay.
Brian Hughes called me today. Like I said, he's traveling, so he was willing to call in, but I have a feeling it would have been the best quality, So he stopped at the site yesterday, and I also had Adam, project super, in my office yesterday. We thought there was a meeting, and there was no job meeting, so he gave me a quick update. They're basically done. They have the cleaning crew. Are they in right now? Yeah, they're like the Mary Mays for construction sites or whatever, are down there cleaning up. They're still moving some stuff out, but the dumpster I saw is full out there. And so Adam said they're really going to be looking to do the punch list with Brian next week. Brian also said he gave them some pre-punch list items. He said, I was there, I saw it, I figured let them know they can start on, doing some touch-up work. So basically, I think what's going to happen next week is punch list, final wrap-up by Millennium. They're going to get the cameras worked out, I guess, positioned with the PD and get them going. I know Siemens and
Back next week.
Siemens and Norcom have been in doing the access control and cameras and all that. So it sounds like it's going to be all this loose stuff that's going to get tightened up and connected and, make sure it works. And I saw you guys put the new phone on the back door.
Closet sock's been turned over. That's all. In town's possession.
Good.
Yeah. So
Before Valentine's Day.
So Valentine's Day's looking better and better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he, two things he wanted to let me know, that there'll be a final change order probably in the $5,000 range with some of the stuff that your guy did with the phone.
Yeah, final integration with all the tech stuff.
Yeah. And I think there's something else that was.
That was above and beyond all the money we allocated for that already.
Correct. Yeah, it was
Okay.
outside of the Siemens stuff. There's a few more loose ends between access control, cameras, telephone.
There's some kind of amplifier too they were talking about.
And the PA system. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Just to make this the new speaker.
And I think it's all the phones, access control, all the technology I did.
So it's the old to the new stuff plug-in. Make
Yeah.
it work.
So he thinks early to mid-February the PD can move in. Now, I don't know if you agree with that, Doug, but that's what he said. So,
Right on.
and you had, I believe,
February
bet
14th.
out that it was Valentine's Day. So,
Fixtures are flowing, water closets are flowing.
It's great when I'm right.
So,
well, we'll see. We'll see.
so the dollars we're expending for this additional work, now that's taken care of for phase 2 as well.
Yeah, it appears that
It's a one-time cost for the
yeah,
whole job.
the major infrastructure upgrades and relocations and all that work happen now. It made sense to do now. So for the future, there's less cost and impact. That it's more plug and play moving forward.
Okay, so all the big ticket items
The
are
heavy
done
end
for the
stuff, yeah.
infrastructure.
All the dispatch console, the camera servers, the case cracker, the access control, the telephone, all the major tech stuff was this phase.
So the backbone's done.
Yeah,
That's
the
basically it.
backbone's in, now we can build off of that, and
Okay.
everything's in central location.
Todd's gonna remember this, by the way. Just so there better be only nickels and dimes.
Unless they're going up or out,
Then it's
okay.
gotta be something new, because
And the bathroom in front's all done.
Restrooms, yeah, all restrooms are functional.
They're using those.
Just punch list items, yeah. They're functional.
is the chief and the officers, are they happy?
I think they're just anxious to get in, and are the bathrooms all done by the dispatch, so they're
They're
overtime?
functional, yeah. They're utilizing it.
The only outstanding issue that I'm aware of as far as operations is the Board of Ed's that musty odor smell that we're getting. And Millennium, I guess it was during damp and wet weather, they were getting this sort of musty, old, wet carpet odor in one area of the Board of Ed office space or in the hallway or something, and they got some complaints. So Millennium is working with the mechanical contractor to look at it. The Board of Ed actually had an exterminator. They thought there was a dead animal somewhere, but the ceilings were checked. It wasn't. So I think, and I don't know what's going on with
They're
that.
looking at the ductwork, but the new package unit that's on the ground that's ducted into that existing ductwork for the Board of Ed, it seems that it could be drawn.
Oh, air intake, yeah.
The fresh air
Yeah.
economizer is kind of right there on the ground. So during those days where you get heavy rain and damp, it appears that it could be coming through there, but they were looking at
Two things outside air intake.
yeah, if they got to modify that, but they're checking all that stuff in there.
Yeah. So that's, as far as I know, that's the only issue that's from the user end that I'm aware of right now, but the users aren't even in yet.
It's
So
not constant. It comes with those and it's sporadic. And it doesn't
Yeah.
smell like a farm up in the hill. They've smelled for decades. So it's something new that the only common denominator is that unit.
So that's basically it. And I tried to get down there. I went down there, your access control is working, because I flipped my thing, I tried to hit it, the door was locked, usually it's open. Couldn't get in, because I wanted to go down and take a look.
There's a few more doors at the time next week. They're now installed. They're waiting on, they have some, issues with their supplier and all this stuff. So
No, when are we starting the second phase? Or is that a different part of the meeting?
We can talk about it now.
Okay.
I don't know when we started.
I
When-
mean, like the second project.
Yes.
I think we were gonna get a quote from Jakuski Humes on doing the finalized design work on that, and I showed Ryan that if there is in blue, it was where now the PD can move into the space. They have areas that they have to repurpose, the locker rooms, the
Yeah.
offices, and whatever that now are being put into the new space. There, in the beginning, this was all part of one project, but it's been split up for funding reasons and other
Yeah.
reasons. So you're
Did-
looking to get that rolling.
Yeah, didn't they give us prices originally for that when we were looking at doing phases instead of projects? Didn't they give us a number back?
Right, but I'm talking about his design work to get finalized the bid package.
Okay.
for, that.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So, maybe we can have him, I'll talk to him about that, because I thought we had asked for a proposal from him on, because he had set $50,000 aside.
Yeah.
If you recall, because we said, no, initially he was gonna do the whole the project, and then the PBC said, no, you have to cut it down to just the Board of Ed storage area and the 2 bathrooms. So he actually gave us a $50,000 credit on the design end but he was still underway. I think his guys
Yeah.
had done preliminary. And then for final, he said, okay, I'm gonna.
I think they had the schematic done.
Yeah.
The schematic design was done, and then we stopped them. And then, so it's really the difference between the schematic design
Right.
and 100% completion of drawings.
So
Okay.
I'll talk to him about that. I know we had a discussion a meeting or 2 ago about that. You guys wanted to look ahead and see.
Yeah.
Because I think there's funding available
There is.
still, kitty, so to speak, for the second project.
Yeah.
On downstairs.
I think it's funded.
Yeah, so I think that's it.
When you said it's basically done, I'm reminded of that tried and true saying, an agreement or a principle is a disagreement fact. So we'll see what basically
We'll see.
means, but. I
Well,
hope they-
Brian's gonna go through it with
Yeah.
maybe Ben next week and do the punch list. So the outside is all done, as far as I know, except maybe the seating around the unit where it's.
They weren't on the tour, they had a long way to go.
Yeah.
Not there, but-
And by the way, Ryan, they also redid the parking lot out in the back, restriped it, put new curbing in, put concrete pads for the air handler, and also the new overhead doors and all that. So that work's been done for a while. And then I've been watching the drainage, looks pretty good.
Good. have some invoices then. Jakunski Humes has an invoice, number 25005 dated January 2nd for $1,000, leaving $2,300 to complete the project.
Make a motion, we pay that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And just so you know, there is no Millennium
I didn't
invoice.
see it.
Yeah, I didn't see
Right,
that.
yeah, Brian said something about it, it lacks notification, so.
Okay.
I think, and he also, I don't know if you're gonna wrap the last changeover into that invoice or whatever. So, anyway, so you don't have a Millennium invoice this meeting to approve.
Okay.
Or any other PD invoice I'm aware of. So that should be it.
Okay. Board of Ed. Mike, you still up or you
Board of
want?
Ed. Yeah, Willard, I haven't heard of Pete, so,
Actually, they just emailed today, they're gonna, balancing commissioning going in next week. I believe it is. They're
There's a
gonna-
bunch of people there tonight.
They
They
reached
reached out
out.
in the other parking lots. I don't know what's
a
going
lot
on
of
there.
stuff going on there. It was, yeah, Russell just reached out, so they're gonna be in next week doing some balancing commissioning,
Are the kids at school next week?
second shift.
Oh, they're gonna do a second shift. Okay. And any upgrades, any new information on Hubbard and?
yes. Last week I sent around the design documents we have right now for both, for Fryer, ES, and Fryer's civil engineer, sub, Dinesh. So you got those, and those are, some of the work's reflected in the invoices you have.
Right.
So the next step would be 90% by mid-February or so. I think, as far as the next design milestone, I know that they're gonna be trying to set up site visits with, probably you, all of the, design team members and Newfield. Go out, especially with the chillers, the locations of the, enclosure and all that stuff, as well as, I think, the possum ceiling tiles to make sure there's maybe not as many surprises as we had at Willard.
They've done that prior too, if they did a few trips prior to.
Oh, they did? Okay, already? Good. All right, yeah. So I know Brian Grant was trying to coordinate a few things, just to have maybe one final look and then they go ahead with the bid package. So where it is right now, we have a little bit of a speed bump because P&Z, their criteria for noise and also for the fencing may require some approvals. Dinesh was gonna put an 8-foot fence in. P&Z has a 6-foot fence.
8-foot fence, which school?
Around, probably Griswold. Yeah, Hubbard, I think, is gonna require probably the CMU enclosure.
Hubbard's the wild card because of the proximity to residential side.
Right.
Yeah, so two things came up, the fence, the height of the enclosure, if it's a fence, and also the noise, because the new noise ordinance came out in July. So Fryer's work started before then, so they're looking at hiring an acoustical consultant. So we got a proposal from Dinesh, who's Fryer's civil engineer consultant, and it's for $3,000, covers both schools. So the question to PVC is, do we want to include that under their scope as a reimbursable, or do we want to contract directly with this acoustical consultant? And I checked with Kevin, there's money in the bank, in the accounts, so it would be like roughly $1,500 per school, and that would help Dinesh design the chiller enclosures to make sure the noise doesn't exceed the dB ratings at wherever the nearest receptors are. For Hubbard, it's rather close to the residential properties. So we can go either way, but CES's contract doesn't have any contingency or any allowances. So if we have to go that route, then I have to go to town council and get their contract updated with both schools. If we go direct, you could tell me to go get a PO tomorrow.
But I think he said they had a $5,000 allowance.
No, that's for something else. I'm gonna get into
Okay.
that. Yeah, this is just for hiring the acoustical consultant.
It's $3,000, right? for the-
$3,000,
Yeah.
so it'd be roughly $1,500 per school.
We don't,
So do you mind if we go direct? And CES and, Dinesh will direct them. I don't have to coordinate, but I'll just say, just send us a proposal. You'll have to sign it, but I could probably pull a PO based on the motion tonight, if you tell me to proceed.
The only issue I have is make sure the language is written in such a way that he owns. We're
Right.
paying for it, he owns that consultant. So later on, if,
Oh,
let's say something happens where the consultant comes back and the calculations he ran were wrong.
right.
I don't want the town owner, I want
So,
the architect owner.
If you rather have it, under his umbrella, so, if you can give me some language that I can make sure is in the proposal, then I can do that. I see your point, though.
It's called indemnifying the town from
Right.
any issues to do with their design.
Right,
And we could put it back to the architect or just let them run it through the architect,
right.
So, because again,
Actually, I'd like to have them run through the architect.
yeah.
Then,
that's
if
where
you want me to
they're
go that way, I will.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to do an item in.
'Cause I think
like
they're-
2 weeks.
Honestly, I think they're gonna end up either moving that cooling tower location or something. It's gonna get expensive. They gotta move it out to the center of that ball field over there. What is that, about 300 feet away?
No,
The underground
they'll-
piping
they'll-
goes-
Yeah, I think they could design.
Yeah,
something.
they'll just put different fencing, and different
Then we
deflectors.
do
or
like
whatever.
well, that's the
block wall
whole
like
point of
we
getting
did
an
with the other
architect
one,
is to
right?
have it come with
The
the
block wall dampens everything.
Yeah.
If you had to go that route.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
now,
good.
now
It's
they
gonna
have
push
to
it
prove,
up.
now they have to prove it, because they actually have the decibel levels
Yeah.
in the new noise ordinance that we have to prove, you have to prove to
They have A, B,
P
and
and
C.
Z that
They have
you're good with
residential.
it,
They have commercial and they have industrial. So I don't know what that falls under. Are we exempt?
But
For the
no,
town?
we're not.
No, no, in fact, the email from Maureen, if you saw some of the correspondence back and forth, said, no, town properties aren't exempt from this. So, good
right.
question, but it was already
But I
answered.
mean, is the school's considered a commercial building?
No, but it's
No.
in a residential
Residential neighborhood.
zone,
Okay.
not a residential use. That was also clarified, but one more,
Okay.
probably reading your mind.
And I think it's more, it's less to do with the use at the generating property. It's the receiving property at that fence line.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and with all the stuff about bright feeds.
Yeah.
This is no longer a little like, oh yeah, we think it'll be fine.
It'll
because-
be all over Facebook.
That's
Yeah.
right, Facebook and, yeah.
But it won't
Yeah.
stink.
Hey, I could sue everybody who drives on Worthington Ridge because there's no way. I'm within the noise decibel where I live.
Motor vehicles are exempt.
I'll sue anyway.
Pre-existing condition.
So, I don't
Snow
know,
removal
yeah.
exempt.
All right, so I will, run that through council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
don't- I
I
don't think we
saw
can
the
motion.
fence, they had the silt fence going through the ball fields.
Um,
Has anybody talked to Park and Rec about losing that field for 2 years?
I have not, no.
This should probably be done. And the other thing was the daycare.
Yeah, that's still way up in the air.
I have somewhat of an update on the daycare.
Oh.
So I have a call into Michelle Dixon over at GAS. So I know Mike had asked me a couple weeks ago if there's anywhere else within district that we could possibly move the daycare over at Hubbard. And we think that there is a classroom over at the high school that might be able to suit the needs will serve the purpose of the YMCA daycare. The problem with that, we run into, it's the same problem we had when we first put the daycares into the Berlin schools. As you're aware, BHS was the original location. That was the desired location. It fit, the classroom was ready, it fits the curriculum. But because the project is not closed out, or we have not received our full reimbursement yet, there's concern as to putting a private daycare facility into these school buildings. So that is still the concern, even though this would be a temporary thing. I have not yet heard back. If the state says, yeah, you're still gonna get your full reimbursement because it's a temporary location for the private daycare, then we are prepared to have the daycare go into that classroom over at BHS.
No, I
If-
think you'll.
If
Valentine's.
DAS says no, don't really have another location.
Well, if there's, it's just my opinion, but having been in real estate for 40 years commercially, That's a huge liability issue. Having grown men working around for how many years at Hubbard, it's gonna be a disaster. We're just opening ourselves up to complaints. So whatever you can do, Ashley, and I understand you're trying to do it, but whatever you have to do to get, 20 kids, little kids, away from a job site would be fantastic.
We're
I
trying.
understand.
We're hopeful that we get the right
Just
answer.
pay $2 million and say, screw it, move the, forgo the $2 million we're supposed to get back.
I don't think
But-
that's the right solution.
No, I know. I don't think we're gonna get $1.8 million back either. I think they're gonna cut us, but anyhow. God, there's no other place other than one classroom in Berlin in this whole
Well,
town.
no other place that wouldn't require significant modifications to the room. So again, one thing you have to consider, this is not controlled, or this is not governed by the Department of Ed. It's governed by the Department of Early Education or Childhood Services. So with that, there's different set of rules and regulations. One of them being they have to have their own bathroom within the facility. The like access to their own bathroom within the room if you're in a facility like a school. The other issue is a private drop-off entrance. So what we have in place at BHS, the room we have, it has the bathroom, so we wouldn't have to make any modifications to any other classroom within the district. I have been working with Brian to see if maybe Willard would work, because we do have a pre-K program already there for our special education students. We have not yet been able to determine whether or not that would be the suitable location, because again, we're not sure what the modifications would look like if we were to move something over to Willard. So we are very conscious of it. We're working with the YMCA. We're trying to find the best solution, because we agree, we do not want essentially babies, because there are infants in that classroom, to be exposed to a work site or conditions similar to what we experienced over at Willard.
You bring up a good point, though. Has anybody notified BHS that we're planning on doing something that's gonna take upwards of 2 years?
Yes, yep. BHS is aware, building principals
You're
aware.
okay with it? Have they given you any requirements, special needs that they have to do it, or are they just saying, okay, let us know what you're doing?
For BHS?
Yeah,
So there's coordination with the building principal. So the room that we're thinking about, it was originally designed to be a pre-K classroom to coincide with the curriculum.
No. I mean, have you notified them that we're gonna do something over at Hubbard? In other words, are they okay with having workmen work around Hubbard while the preschool, the daycare is here?
I think I don't think I'm hearing you properly. Are you asking me if the YMCA is aware, or are you asking me if BHS is aware that that we're looking at their location to move?
I'm asking you if BHS is okay with having workmen around the school at Willard for upwards of 2 years while there's children there.
Yes.
It's different
They're
being
aware.
okay.
Yeah.
And do they have demands or anything that they require us to do if we decide to go ahead and work around them?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Your CMA would obviously require background checks for anybody that's on site if they're working with infants and children, right? I mean, at least.
Oh, yeah, I know how much. Yeah, it's a lot of work that needs to be done, and the liability is.
All the language, the correspondence through Brian Grant Newfield seems that they were looking to put this very clear distinction within the bid package. So
You
that
have
the-
to.
The
Yeah, you
contractor's
have
gonna
to,
know
absolutely.
If it has to stay
If
at
we,
Hubbard.
if we have to work around the daycare,
'Cause we got
whatever
like
it's gonna
a month
take
and
is
a
gonna
half,
be
2
part of that
months.
bid, so.
That's
I
badging.
think that's,
Background checks.
that's what we're going for right now, is to work
I was-
around that.
I was gonna even say the new projects we're doing, we should still put it in there anyways.
Yeah. And
The
it's
language.
really the impact, it's one classroom, it's one unit, the piping, the electrical, they have the restroom, the impact, the egress, other than the disruption and noise, but if everything vets out and that's language is specific, we're trying to accommodate the project, keeping the daycare on site unless the board feels differently in the YMCA does. Newfield is really, they're very aware of that.
Okay. So you just don't want to get halfway in and go, oops, we forgot to do this. That would.
No, they're very aware. This is probably the biggest logistical issue that they have.
Sure.
And if-
And between the daycare and play space that are brought up,
Right.
and then it's not going to impact the fields for Park and Rec. The chiller location is on the complete opposite side. The daycare is already going to. Actually, I believe the daycare is already in the works to get relocated. I'm sorry, the playground.
Yeah, we've established a location. We're actually gonna cut back on the existing playground. As for the Berlin Public Schools, we're gonna take some of that space, reallocate it to YMCA. It's gonna require us to reconfigure some of the existing playground equipment that we have for the Hubbard students. And reinstall a fence or install a new fence specific for the YMCA.
So the playground was set up where the chiller's going. So
Yeah, I know.
that's gonna get relocated.
So it's getting bumped.
So grounds, the Board of Ed, they've worked hard on that, and there's gonna be obviously be some cost, but much less cost than if we had moved the chiller, so.
So plan A is we have it in the bid package to work around it. Plan B is if Ashley gets some traction on the board, the high school
Right.
or Willard, plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever. So,
Even if it's a premium within the bid, it's gonna still be less than relocating to a high
Oh,
school.
yeah.
I agree.
No doubt about it. Might have to take right field away from the
thanks, Ashley.
baseball field. But.
One more thing then
Yeah.
for.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, one more thing for the group. Fryer had an allowance of $5,000 for their work in each proposal of the contract for Griswold and for Hubbard. Because of the P&Z issues, they asked if they could start utilizing that on an hourly basis to work through the ZBA. They have to go to the ZBA for the fence and also for chiller enclosure and location and the noise and all that for both schools. So there was already $5,000 in there. Basically, Scott Mitchell from Fryer said, do I have permission to start using this for Benesh? And so that's the question for
Do
you.
they have anything preliminarily done that we can get in front of P and Z to make sure they're,
No, it's already happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Benesh, in fact, Benesh has already reached out to Maureen. They've been going back and forth. I sent some of the correspondence with an email today to you guys. And just to show you because I thought, well, there's not going to be a lot of work. But then I started seeing what Maureen was asking for and the noise ordinance that I really wasn't aware it was that recent, July. So between the fence, the enclosure, the noise, and they're going to have to get some sort of approval from P&Z, whether it be administrative or actually go through the formal process. So right now, they're going back and forth with what are the issues and can we get a nod to just do administrative review, especially just the location with the noise issues taken care of.
so he's looking to bill us hourly for
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, so there's a total of $10,000 between both schools. I think Harvard's going to be the kicker. That school is where the noise is going to be the issue.
But if we wait, I think we should let them go ahead because we wait this thing to drag out. for a long time.
No, I think we
Go
have
ahead.
to. Yeah, we want to bid by, early spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, time's, slipping away. So I personally am in favor of it because I'm closer to the issues. I've seen what's going. I thought it was going to be a big issue and then I'm like.
So you just need us to authorize the expenditure of the funds, right?
Yeah, just looking to start to draw from that with your permission.
I make a motion that we proceed with the design based on the noise ordinance and the details for that, not to exceed $10,000 at T&M.
Okay. Thanks.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
I think that's it for the schools. Unless, do you have something else on those?
Oh, Swan was back last week with missing enclosures on the drives and the exterior stuff, so that those have been installed. And that was the unit verification, just to run through functional testing, so that's scheduled for next week at Willard.
That was my only question I had is how is overall the programming going with the whole system?
Functional, the only thing, because of the energy codes, the airflows, the decibels a little louder, the CFM, and then there's a few little issues just with the heating valves and controls with ABS, and everybody was great to work on that. So
All right.
we haven't, through all the cold, we haven't really received many complaints. So a couple little issues happened in the main office last week, just temperature programming, and a couple things came up. It's more understanding the new systems. Most people have been used to what's there for some 30 years.
So just watch out for coil freeze-ups. because I've seen them happen right after a new system's installed. You go through the first cold snap and they freeze up and you got a mess.
We've had it on the existing ones. We've done, I don't know how many coils are split. We do have all the freeze protection, the way it's built in, the bypass, so everything's working right. And then they'll pick that up in commissioning too, but it's not gonna move. We haven't seen anything through those cold snaps.
That's good news so far.
Just a few functional learning the systems and how they operate. Everybody has a difference in temperature.
Yeah, I know the last one I did was up in Providence, Rhode Island. We had a problem with the units not communicating correctly. And it was a design flaw by the contractor who's doing the controls, designed the controls, and it caused it to open instead of close.
Okay,
They were in
reverse
freeze and it froze the coil and flooded the school. It was a 2-inch line. So,
That's a lot of water.
yeah. And they were closed and ran for a weekend.
We had that happen, not to be off topic, but a braided line let go at Griswold.
Same
They had
thing.
some water. So making provisions and making changes.
Sounds good.
So
Alright.
Tom, on the invoices, you do not have, even though we had placeholders on the agenda, you do not have invoices for Newfield or Allstate.
Or Allstate,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, just so in case you're wondering where
I
are they,
was, but I
There.
figured they weren't in, so.
they're pending at some point in the future.
Then we have 2 invoices from Fryer, one for each school. The first one is for $8,000 for Hubbard. It's architectural design consulting, another consultant, civil engineering consultant, underground utility location consultant, and a chiller pad design consultant, for a total of $8,000.
Make a motion with that.
Just one question. Did anyone review those drawings?
I took a quick look,
I looked at them too.
Yeah. and they're a little scant,
Yeah,
a little light,
yeah.
you know, especially I think CES. On Benesh's side, who's worked for Fryer, there, I've seen the other sketches they've been sending back and forth to Maureen on the actual enclosures and all that. They're a little more advanced than CES is as far as the level of detail in the drawings. But CES has basically said that the specs they already had in place, they're pretty good for them. So
Yeah.
on the spec side, they're probably solid. The drawings, they're really a title block and a frame and some notes.
So
you know.
just pass it down from the, we're going to approve it, but we,
You want to see more detail and.
correct,
yeah.
it was lacking, but in good faith to move the project along.
Yeah.
We're going to pay him for this, but the next round, it's better be more developed.
Yeah.
They're-
You talking CES or
C-
Fryer?
Well, CES I thought was lighter than Fryer. Fryer, actually, they had, in fact, I think Jason, remember we took the walkthrough, you said the millworks, that's gonna be the,
Yeah.
they have actually now, I don't know if you took over the drawings, they actually have like, different types, prototypes in there on how you deal with the millwork. They show the wire mold in a couple, so they've actually done
They learned a little bit
more
last.
sort of detail work than I would think CES on the drawings anyway, that I've
Yeah.
seen. So
Oh, yes.
I'll relay the
Okay.
message.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, and then we have a second invoice from Fryer for Griswold, a little bit of a cheaper rate, $7,880 for the same 4 categories.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then we have 2 invoices from CVS, $1,400. Basically, it says.
Except for your Lorenzo pen.
Actually, it doesn't say what they're billing us for.
They give you percentages, yeah.
Yeah, just percentage. So
I'm gonna have to have them add notes. They just keep forgetting. to put
they
notes on
keep
what they-
forgetting they've never done it, even though we've asked. Anyhow, $1,400, one for Griswold, one for Hubbard. So 2 separate invoices.
Same amount.
$1,400, yes.
It was the same thing, Mike.
They're doing the same
Just tell them
thing.
this is it.
Right.
I'll make a motion with that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Slab moisture review.
The only news on that is that, I think it was Ashley had sent pictures and, a note about the fact that the staining is now more visible. And I think more of the tiles are cracking. So we forwarded that to, Wish Jenny. And I also sent them the school calendar if they wanted to get in during the, the winter breaks, whatever, to take some samples. I have not received any response back, and I think Doug, you sent the photos from Ashley.
Maybe give them
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I
we
think it
should
might
do
be
another
time
walkthrough with them.
to, yeah.
It's starting to elevate and actually can attest to the growing concern from the
Yeah.
people within. the
It's
students.
growing and we had a drought.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Something's sweating really bad. You gonna call?
Well, Mike and I both sent individuals separate.
And I,
Kind of like.
Well, I think we should do another walkthrough with them.
oh, okay.
Let's get him and put his,
If you schedule
Feet
that,
to the
then
fire.
get prepared.
yeah,
All right, do we coordinate that?
yeah, please.
All right.
If I may, I just want to stress the growing concern coming out of BHS. It's getting to the point, where it seems to be growing significantly. I do a walkthrough weekly and, just from the beginning of the school year to where it is now, it's really very concerning, and it is gaining a lot of momentum through our unions. And I am very concerned that they are going to be knocking on your door very quickly. So I just want to let you guys know that it is certainly gaining momentum by the community, the BHS community, and as soon as we could get some reports on what exactly is going on, we would really greatly appreciate it. That's all.
You're gonna call and schedule a meeting for ASAP.
ASAP.
And we can't blame Ryan that the new town manager wants to have a walkthrough.
No, you
Feel free.
I could note that.
Feel
That
free.
he's, he's pushing us.
Seems
and,
very agreeable to help.
Board of
us.
Ed
I
is
think,
pushing
I
us.
think we're setting that up, right, Ashley?
Yeah, I think BHS is probably gonna be one of our first stops on our tour, and I think you will be very concerned as well when you see some of these spots.
Okay.
I'll drop all the names I have to. I'll drop Don, I'll drop Ryan, I'll drop the Board of Ed, whoever.
Okay.
We want a status update, we want to walk through Dome.
Okay.
Yeah, and let them know the population concern. Make them well
Right.
aware of
This is
that.
why we hired him a year ago,
Yeah.
or a half ago, just for this reason, so we want to get to this.
Yeah.
Watch him.
And we're at this point,
So,
yeah.
I don't want to do it.
That's
New
a
education
lawsuit.
secretary.
All right, McGee classroom, science classroom update. I guess Doug or Ashley or whoever wants to speak.
It's a joint venture.
We're working on it. I still have to, I'm trying to reach out to some of my professional colleagues in other districts who have done similar RFPs, and I'm not getting a lot of responses here. So it is still on our radar. We're still in the process of trying to put together an RFP because for the architectural services or the structural services that you requested. So it's definitely on our radar. We are working on it. And I hope to have some movement on that in the next few weeks.
I gave some information to your predecessor about maybe going forward. I don't know if he shared any of that with you.
He did not.
That's
You know what? Why don't I resend it to you, Ashley?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
it was pretty good, actually.
It definitely will help you if he didn't share it with you. I talked to one guy in particular who was just an encyclopedia of knowledge and very, very helpful in providing avenues for you Jeff to go to.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's too bad Jeff didn't share that with you.
Okay.
Library roof replacement status.
Talked to Al today, actually. He's just waiting for the wage rates to come back. I guess it's a little slow. It's usually 2 to 3 turnaround. He did it first of the year, so hoping to have him back next week. And then on our end, we may use the new system by then, the new
The new online procurement.
online procurement. So either it's going to be the old way or the new way by the end of the month. That's the goal, to get it out in the street by the end of the month.
And you guys have seen the drawings, and you said, let it fly. So let's go to bid.
That's the only missing thing is the wage.
Oh, it
rates.
is, the prevailing wage rates. Yeah.
He's ready to get it out there with us.
Oh, good. That's great.
Okay. Now the Public Building Commission is addressing the Berlin High School track. I guess it's going to be an indoor track inside the building. I'm only kidding.
Well, Ashley sent me a note saying that she's taking the statement of need that this group requested to the Board of Ed
Okay,
on the 13th, and I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, so I present on the 13th. I'm assuming they're gonna approve it, and then it would have to go to the town council next for your referral, from what I understand. So I'm trying to get that done in the next few meetings that we have here.
okay, thanks.
That was, that's all. I apologize for the delay in that. There's a complete miscommunication. I was not aware that you were waiting for it. I thought it was more of a get it when you can, so.
You
My
can't get-
apologies for that. I'll take full responsibility for the delay in this.
It's okay, Ashley, you're off the hook. But you might be on the hook for the Timberland Golf Course bunkers.
Timberland's my least favorite course. Just saying.
Oh. Wow.
Why, you're into bunkers a lot?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can give you a little update on that. Saul has the design professional working on the design. He intends on going to bid sometime in the spring. In all reality, the construction wouldn't happen until after the golf course season is over or at the very end of it. The $30,000 that the town fronted initially to get this rolling was actually approved on Tuesday by the town council. So I think it's just going to kind of slip in and just whatever. So town council is basically supporting this.
So the drawing's complete now. They'll be able to get it out to bid.
I guess he's going for the bid package, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that you guys wanted to see that before it went out to bid.
We'd like to see it
Yeah.
if possible.
So I'll let him know to coordinate. I think he knew he had to come back here, or he should come back and submit the package.
Because we'd just like to see what was going out and then what comes back in
Right.
for the numbers. And then from there that, we could this group can make a recommendation to the town which one to go to, or it could come from that committee, the golf committee. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how qualified they are to make that recommendation. But,
Right. Okay. So that's it for the bunkers.
Okay, what about the bridges?
Nothing. Those will follow the bunkers. So I don't think the golf course commission or the golf course itself, Saul is working on that. He's focused on the bunkers right now. Once they get that rolling, they'll switch to the bridges.
Fall down before we started. Okay. I have 2 invoices from Chikinsky Humes for, which I expected to be in here, but for professional services for the roof on the library. And one of them is, they're both dated the same day.
Actually, it's town hall and lot. One's for the town hall, one's for the library.
Oh, that's not the separation? Okay.
Yeah.
2 separate projects they're bidding them as.
That's right, I forgot that, yeah. Okay, so there's one for the Berlin Town Hall for $9,600. Leaving a balance of $4,800, and it's for schematic design, contract documents, bidding, and construction. So I need a motion for that.
make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Second.
Barb.
You're hiding.
And then a second invoice for the library for $16,900 for schematic design, contract documents, bidding, and construction. Leaving a balance of $8,450 to complete that.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The only caveat I'll throw on that, Mike, when you talk to them, when they go out to bid with that, if there's any economies by any of the bidders to combine both projects. So if they come back with their bids and let's say, they're bidding project A and then project B, if they say if we get both, we'll knock 20 grand off or 30 grand off. Make sure they're aware of that. And let's take advantage of that if we can.
Have you seen the front end yet as far as the, how it's?
Just to double check, I know the calendar, we allow them the flexibility as long as it's done by the end of September.
Right.
That way they can hopefully save something
Right.
based on their schedule.
I saw the drawings, they look good.
Yeah, no, I thought they were super detailed.
And we asked
Yeah.
about one project, one bid, and he said, no, but there's a few reasons, I can't remember, but we can certainly bring that up.
But there's nothing to prevent one firm from doing both.
Correct.
Bidding on both and winning. Okay.
we can look at it as overall a little bit. They may be high on one, low on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly
And
right.
that's what I'm saying. If there's
Yeah,
any
but can you
economies
word it that
there
way?
Yeah.
that we can take advantage of, let's do it.
I think, yeah, then we can
Bring up a good
negotiate.
point.
You have to word the bidding that way, though, I think.
Right.
because then
Yes,
they
you
could-
do.
'cause it-
All you
then
have
the
to say
low
is.
bidder can file.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up now.
So-
Let's get the
So
language in there.
would you, on the bid form then, would you have like, if, you get both, you know, and I think I've tried to do this in another.
I've seen this on,
where-
on some of our bids where we have multiple packages, like if, let's just take electrical. You
Right.
have like AV, security, but if you combine all of them, you can
Right.
give a combined price.
Right,
So maybe
oh,
if,
okay,
if we word it that way where there's separate prices and then a combined price.
right,
Also, maybe run it by Jeff D'Onofrio,
Yeah.
just for safety's sake.
have you ever seen it where there's a percent, like, you know, we'll take 3% off if we get both schools or whatever?
I've just seen it where you
Combined.
have, there's multiple bids, but
Right.
then you have a lump sum combined where
But
then
those
it's
are
up.
the same project. These are
Same
Well,
project.
that's, you're in the same project where there's
Same project, but there's
different rates.
different packages.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Could-
offer
could
it.
it-
Oh,
Could
I'd
it be
say-
an ad alternate? Like, I mean, I know ad alternates are usually ads, but could you do something like that where you draft it as an ad alternate, but it's a combination discount?
Yeah, you can show it as a deduct alternate.
Yeah, that's the right terminology. Sorry.
And Al probably knows, he's probably done this
So
before.
message right now.
So are you gonna talk to Al about
Some
this?
of them, yeah.
Thought he
And just
retired.
check with Jeff too.
Yeah,
Month
okay.
transition.
Oh, okay.
Al's still working? He's officially retired.
Transitioning out. He's a 30-day grace period.
Oh, what's that?
He'll be in for coffee every morning. It's always hard. All right, new business, reconfiguration of the VNA suite. And I must admit, I did not read that.
That's okay. Yes. What it was Ryan's predecessor. So one of the things that the renovation downstairs initiated was the relocation of the food pantry. It's
It's right here now.
Yeah,
And
and
then the storage space downstairs for town operations, you call it, you know, paper, vault records, all the good stuff. So there's two kind of space needs issues. So what Lee worked on with social services, looking at the way the VNA suite is utilized currently. And then the register of voters, now with all the voting changes, we've had space needs also, and going through what we went through last year. So the concept came up with, can we put two departments into one, relocate the VNA that they've downsized? So working with all departments, came up with the concept, conceptual plans, conceptual costs based on, you know, what we can see and know and work with what we have, and wanted to get it to council before we left. So that's where we're at right
so it's $1 million.
now. It's under 100.
So
And, well,
I'm not being facetious, but why can't we
Well,
just do it?
I think I mentioned this at the last meeting. I was asked to float reducing Millennium's contingency by 75,000
Yes,
to
you were.
fund.
Yeah.
Is, will that take care of the
Yeah,
funding
and
for the whole thing?
we looked at, if we were to do this, you know, where could we get some funding from right now in the budget, and it kind of piggybacks off the PD project. So the concept was let's utilize PD funding. So
Yeah,
it's really,
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
fast tracked just to get it before the council, before Lee left to PBC and understand that, you know, the project did kind of impact a few other operational areas of the town hall. So this was, let's get something forward for, do we agree with the concept? Do we think that's going to work? Do we need to revisit other ideas that we've had?
Well, based on the fact that
And kind of
the other mayor, Mike, said that they're basically done, I don't think Millennium's anywhere near their use of the contingency.
no, and we'll have, even if you take the 75,000 out, I think you'll have 106,000
Yeah.
left over. And I, for what Brian said, he's looking at a change order in the $5,000 range. So you have a lot of contingency left unless
Right.
something completely catastrophic, you know.
I thought that money was gonna get flipped over though to the second project. That's where I thought it was
Yeah.
going.
Well, there's a lot more money that you need more than $75,000 to do the
No, I
second
know.
phase of the
A
PD.
little bit.
I
I
know.
mean, I understand that, but they're gonna need the money for that second project or this, so it seemed like an easier way to do the VNA, since it's the police station that's sort of kicking them out. I mean, indirectly.
Yeah, there's two other areas we looked at that's been out there for a while, is Pistol Creek, obviously, and then also across the street at the community center, using that first room. So, I mean, there's three potentially places to go. And this one conceptual plan with conceptual cost, it puts us under 100, but it's over 50.
Can Pistol Creek do the daycare?
anything's possible, but it's more impact than the use of the space now, so.
I don't think that's rated for a school.
And it might just be more out of the way.
Just asking. Out of the way.
Well, just maybe more out of the
For
way.
somebody who
versus-
lives over, by Shuttle Meadow, everything's out of the way.
Yeah, but it's, somebody being part of the school system, somewhere part of the school system, somewhere else, so.
Okay.
So the request from the town council is, well, actually, the request through the town council is, are you okay with freeing up that $75,000 for this V&A office suite relocation?
Well, do we have to vote on that? Guess we do.
I think you do, because you're
Yeah.
officially releasing $75,000.
Well, I'm okay with it personally, but,
Town council
anybody else wants to say
the
something?
money to be moved, and we're good with the project from a money perspective, at least this project.
As long as they come up with money for the other project.
Yeah, that's the only issue I have. I know that they were counting, I think they were counting for some of the money left over from Project
Yeah, they
A to go to Project B. I just don't want to make sure we're spending this money twice. That's all.
We can remind that, Don, because with the new figures that are gonna come in are gonna, they're gonna, who knows where they're gonna be. But we're certainly pretty good at reminding them what we did, so I don't think they'll have any issue with that. If they do,
Not us.
we can be very uncooperative. No, I see your point, though, it's
Yeah.
well taken, but, we're all in this together, as the saying
Yeah.
goes, so. Otherwise, it's just gonna take a heck of a lot longer to get an answer to them, so.
I think the only caveat I put on there is exactly what I said. Make
Yeah,
sure
put
we're
an
not spending-
asterisk there,
We're not spending the same money twice. That's all.
right?
I don't have a preference, what we do with the money that way. I just don't want to make sure it's accounted for, that all that was moving to Project B. Now that Project B is short $75,000 because of this.
Right.
I get
You
it.
can say no. You could just.
No, I'm not, I don't want to say no. I want to just make sure that we're not double counting the same money.
Yeah.
That's all.
Is
have
Project
a-
B funded? Is the second phase or Project 2 of the police station funded already or no?
I think there's excess money in the account, because when I think it was almost $5 million.
Yeah.
Was put aside, or bonding rights, whatever, however Kevin words it, but I think there's money available after the first PD project is done.
Correct.
For the second project. I don't know how much is left, and I think it is actually allocated to it.
I think
Generally.
there's enough to fund the whole project, I believe, and it's not out of bonded money. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it
And you know
works.
what, I should find out from Kevin how that works and what the
Correct.
numbers are.
And find out what the contingency is for the second project, because maybe it's excessive.
I mean, my recommendation is we don't make this call until we know we have at least confirmation we're close on those two projects, or phase 2 and phase 3.
I agree.
To hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, it depends how badly the town wants to get
From what we,
V&A in
I
there.
don't think
I don't wanna-
there's that much urgency as far as it's not gonna impact operations, knowing that we have some time before the next voting that would happen. With everything with the VNA and social services, everybody's gonna maintain operations, so if it doesn't happen necessarily the first quarter, if it's the second quarter of this year,
Oh, I thought it was something I needed to do by Tuesday.
it was,
Oh,
we wanted
okay.
to keep it moving ahead based on this concept, but
Sure.
if it has to take another month or so, I don't think it's gonna impact operations. to any department.
check what we have for
Yeah, and I think
funding.
Lee is a very energetic guy. I think he saw his time was going, and he wanted it was on his list to check off, and I even said that, looking to check these things off.
Yeah, yeah, he was anxious to he wanted to close it out knowing that there was a need for the town
Yeah.
operations, but if it has to take some more time to make sure everything's, big thing is paying for it, so.
Okay, so I'll get the information, we can talk about the next meeting. And I'll float the information out around before the meeting, so you guys
Yeah.
can digest it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Old business. Senior center, senior community center. It's still alive.
Bart, do you have any update on that?
No news is good news as far as
Okay.
Close out high school.
Nice.
I haven't thought about it,
Hey, I'm taking that money.
but it really,
Valentine's Day of 2032.
Well, my guess is why don't we just move the kids, by the time they get to the closeout of school,
They'll be gone.
they'll be gone. And they won't even know.
Should we have, seriously, though, should we have the reps for the town send a letter to the state about that outstanding funds? It's 1.8 million. I mean, I don't think we're out of line asking to where it's at, what's the status of it?
But the last update I got from Kevin was probably 2 months ago, and he said, or 3 months ago, he said that he did confirm it was in the queue, but the queue's long. And they're way behind. And I think even, was it Jim Willett said something that you won't see this money for 10 years or something?
Yeah, that's
Well,
exactly.
I think Plainville's still waiting for their money. It's been
Yeah.
about 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
So since I'm talking to Kevin anyway, I'll just say, I'm curious if you heard anything else on the VHS.
well, again, I mean, we can have the 2 reps for the town getting involved with it at the state level. And just finally have them send a letter inquiring where the funds are, what do we need to move it along?
Heck, if we have to go back to the contractors, half of them might be out of business by
Most of them,
Dead.
then.
yeah.
Yeah. Or in jail.
I'll ask the questions.
Thank you.
And then there's something that we got this week from the town council about the community center air quality systems, which I guess Doug, you can talk about. That was referred on the spot to this group. And it wasn't meant to be.
The existing community center.
Yes,
Air quality.
Doug can explain what happened and all that, but that was forwarded, Lisa forwarded that, and it includes, and then Doug provided additional backup on the units and all that, and he can give you the history on that.
Senior. Yep, that was, it's in the capital plan, to do some HVAC replacements next door. So that was one of the lump sum requests and the surplus capital requests that went to council, so they asked to get referred to PVC to look at it. We've done a few units already, 3 out of the 12, basically direct replacements. We buy them 1 for 1 from Trane. Closest match, we have our on-call contractors work with our staff, chop and swap and reconnect them to the existing infrastructure, ductwork, electrical piping. So we put a request in based on what we spent to
But is
date.
there one for each classroom or?
Yeah, there's all the rooms down there, each have their own heat pump, water source heat pump. Various sizes based on the tonnage and the size of the room, the way it was designed in 1998. So we've had some momentum. We've had 3 projects where we've had some money left over for capital projects, so we're able to fund that. But now it's going to go into operations if we don't receive any more funding for them.
Was there any code upgrade requirements based on they're being so old?
We didn't do anything like that. We didn't do a full, without basically gutting everything,
Yeah.
the chiller piping, fresh air, there is fresh air, so it's basically remove and replace existing.
So it's just repair.
Repair replacement, 1 for 1. The cooling tower, that's in capital, that's eventually gonna have to be done. That's still, it's coming up on 30 years. Pipings we can reuse, but we've done a lot of repairs and one-offs because they're all individual units. Air handlers at the library, coils, boilers we've done. So each year, over the years, we do as things fail or put them in the capital, not the whole building to gut it and start over. So.
This is just the community center down below.
Correct.
It's nothing to do with the library.
No, they share equipment rooms, mechanical rooms, boiler rooms, but this equipment and specific water source heat pumps for the room.
So when they modified the downstairs, they put this stuff in.
Yeah, when they built out the lower level to become the community center, that all the infrastructure.
Oh, this is one right over here by town hall.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
lower
the senior center by like
No,
Pettit
no,
Field.
community
To the
center.
library.
Oh.
No,
And you had told me too, they were really old units, you were having trouble getting parts. and
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like
basically
that.
discontinued, so the compressors go bad, the coils are rotted, we can't get parts, so it doesn't make sense to put $5,000 into something that's 30 years old when we can buy a new unit for 7. So, but basically the cost, what we asked for, was a round number based on what we spent to date, the average of the difference in the size of the equipment.
And you guys have changed them out yourselves?
With our on-call contractor.
Okay.
So our HVAC electricians, and then our on-call guys, there's ductwork modifications, piping. We buy the units direct, they're shipped right to the town off state contract, they show up on a truck, we bring them over, we cut them, hook it back up.
So those ones you've done before, those got to be replaced. We're not worried. We're just worried about the old ones.
Yeah, there's 12 total. We've done 2. The third one's scheduled for next week, and then we have 9 more. That takes care of the whole community center. That 150 number and all the supporting documentation gives you kind of the story.
For all 9?
Yeah, it's basically, based on the timing, we didn't go bid out, quote out the remaining 9, get all the information. It was based on what we've done to date. We have a 4th one now that's come up that's starting to fail. Our guys are over there looking at it saying we're in the same boat. compressor went bad. Some of them have 2 stages, some have 1 stage.
If you could get it all in a spreadsheet, let's get the numbers from the subs to
But
do
would-
it, and let's put it all together as a
Maybe the
package.
economy of scale of getting the last 8 or 9 together.
That would be that, yes. If we get this lump sum of funding, then we can bid it out as a whole project versus we're picking it away one at a time right now, yeah.
So let's get it all together in a spreadsheet and take a look at it.
I'm confused, what do you need us for this?
Well, it was. Council referred the
150
project
grand,
to
it's not a
yourself.
building, but are we gonna approve it? Are we gonna
Yeah.
administer the funds?
Help us, put this
We got
together
this
to
thing.
make it a package. So
It just saw it right now and I didn't have a chance to
There were
speak.
3 letters in our saw.
Yeah, we know what we need to do. We'll come back to you
Okay.
with all the
Okay.
information.
Good.
Thank you.
That's it.
Is Brock?
All right, Steve,
That's all I got.
we'll give you the honors. Motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Ryan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, right on the dot.
Brian Walter.
Oh, yeah, you know Brian? Yeah.
We worked.
Oh, he does? Yeah.